Hi, this is Kim Sunshine here at the Kim Sunshine Show. Oh my gosh, and there's a famous person here, Miss Cindy Dalecki.
Hi, everyone. I don't know about that.
Oh, you are famous in our small town for
there
sure.
You go. How about that?
Absolutely.
Small town famous.
Absolutely.
I'll take that.
Yeah, because you've been running Marketing2Go for how long now?
It's been 11 years.
11 years. She has experience with marketing. And yeah, I know that when we first opened, you have done our press release for us.
Yes.
And I absolutely love that. And she got it blasted out all over the place. And that was just so fantastic.
We create a buzz about businesses.
That's right. That's right. And you're doing a lot of other things too with businesses. So what are some of the other things that you're doing?
Yeah. So, our main service we offer is social media marketing management. Meta is the name for Facebook and Instagram. A lot of people still don't know that. But so we do paid ads that way. We do a lot of email marketing. We do some website updates. We do events. So we love, helping you create a buzz about your ribbon cutting or grand opening or just open house anniversary. So many businesses have been in business 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and they want to shout that out to the community.
Right. Right. Yes. Yep. That is fantastic. And I love all the things that you're doing. And, I know that we have some overlap with us, but man, that Meta, if you don't know what you're doing with Meta, you are going to get lost in there because they, I'm not sure who they had name things, but the names are all like close and overlapping, and you got to get with somebody who knows what they're doing. So whether it's Cindy or me, we can help you out with that. But Cindy has been doing this for a very, very long time.
Yes. So been in the marketing field. Of course, there was no social media when I started, over 20 years ago. I went to UCF in Orlando, and that wasn't an option for a major.
What was it? Was it print? What was the main thing you were doing?
Journalism, specializing in ad PR was my official degree.
Okay.
But now you can get a digital marketing degree. You can get a social media management degree and things like that.
Well, you got all that hands-on.
Yes, we figured it out.
Yeah, we had no choice. I mean, back in the day, it's funny because one of my ad accounts is it's only 5 digits. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, well, this is that. And they're trying to name it something. I'm like, no, that's under my personal name. But it was before any of this ever came out. Right. We've been advertising on Facebook since they first started allowing ads on Facebook.
Right. And it reminds me of that because we started helping nonprofits, when that wasn't really a business in our area to manage people's social media accounts. So the Flagler Beach Historical Museum was one of our, it's been on the board for all these years. And the name was Flagler Beach Historical Museum. That was the first and last name. Remember when you had to, set it up back that?
Because they didn't have pages even.
Yeah.
I mean, all we had were the personal accounts on Facebook. Right. How it's grown, social media has taken off into a whole world of its own.
Right. And it's funny that you say, if you don't know the metaverse, we'll call it, or, the meta, anything, you can learn it, but then it keeps changing. I'll have people go, even with, MailChimp and Constant Contact and some of your email marketing tools, I'll have customers go, hey, I went in here to try to do something that I always do and it's different. Can you do it?
I like Constant Contact is one of my favorites. I've always used Constant Contact with all of my businesses. So I absolutely love Constant Contact for your newsletter, because there's a lot of good things you can tie in with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a friend in the industry who calls it printing your own money when you are marketing to your customers like that, because they already know you, they love you, they trust you.
That's right.
And it's easy to reach out to them with something new you have, right? And to cross-market your different products or services with them.
Well, that brings us to your database. You absolutely have got to have your database of customers. No matter how you're collecting those or holding on to those, you got to have those to market to. Yes. Because that is your core right there. And then referrals from those people are also a big, huge stream of income.
Well, and talking about all the neat things that, Facebook does, one of the options to advertise on Facebook is to a lookalike audience.
Yep.
So if you use your current database of customers, Facebook finds people that have similar likes and interests or location or age or whatever it is to your customers. And then you can advertise to the same type of customers.
It's amazing where the technology is today. And I'll tell you, the technology is only as good as the person who is using it. So as all of that technology is available to everyone, 99% of people have no idea to where to even begin. And that's where Cindy and I come in. And Cindy has been a superstar in Flagler County for a long time. You work with a lot of different nonprofit organizations, Professional Women of Flagler County. Yes. You're one of the founders.
Yes, ma'am. That was a long time ago too.
It wasn't that long. It was a couple years, maybe. What? 4, 3?
So we had a professional women's group with the Flagler County Chamber of Commerce when they were here, and then the chamber.
Well, they're back.
Well, under a different name.
Yes.
It's a whole new deal.
It's
not
a
the
whole
same
different
people or anything like that. So we had started a women's group through them, and then they went away, and we're like, oh my gosh, we don't want our professional women's group to go away. So a few years ago, we started our own Professional Women of Flagler County.
And the meetings are being held at the Memory Care Center, right?
Exactly.
And it's so beautiful there. If you've not been there.
Market Street is the name.
Market Street. And it's right there on Palm Coast Parkway, right near the new Advent Hospital. But the interesting thing was the recent meeting was the first time I'd ever been inside there. And it is beautiful. So if you get a chance to, if you're a woman, well, no, we do.
There's men are invited.
Yes, too.
Yeah. They're the smart men, I guess. Yeah.
They're looking.
But we had the CEO, the relatively new CEO of Advent Health Palm Coast, Denise Chubb Bales, as our guest speaker. And it was really interesting to see all the cool stuff that's happening with the new building and the current, hospital on 100.
Right.
Technology, you talk about the rapid pace of technology in hospitals.
Right.
She was talking about the ultraviolet IV finder. Don't know if that's the official name.
Finder for putting in an IV so that you don't get a misjab.
Yes. Yeah. Nobody likes misjabs.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because the older you get, the bigger the bruise.
Yes. Yes.
That goes for roller skating too.
Yeah. That's why I don't roller skate
so
so much.
Now, Cindy, you've been, so Professional Women of Flagler County, and you've been, also you were talking about the Flagler Museum.
Yes, I'm on the board of the Flagler Beach Historical Museum. I'm really involved in Rotary, the Rotary Club of Flagler Beach, which we have our 5K fundraiser coming up in February, and it's on the airport at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So nothing gets you running like a helicopter with a spotlight on you circling.
An airplane.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we see, when is that? Well,
so February 25th.
Okay.
Yep. At night, 6 p.m. or 6:30, something like that. You can look on Facebook and we're there. I'm also on the board of the Teens in Flight.
Teens in Flight. Yes. Love that. Love that with Jack Howe.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Yes. Yes. It's a great organization. And the Women United Flagler. So I was on the founding, I feel like an old lady. I was on the founding board of that as well.
That doesn't make you an old lady. Look at you. You look like a teenager. Are you kidding? Oh my gosh.
Thanks for that filter, Kim. Yeah.
You look great. Hey, the filter is just to give us a little tan because we're in Florida, right? Yeah. It's just so we have a little color.
It's just pixie dust.
Listen,
that's all. Fairy dust.
It is like So now you've been in Flagler County for how long?
So I moved to Ormond by the Sea when I was pregnant with my 20-year-old. And then I got, when I went on maternity leave, I worked for the Daytona Beach News Journal for about 9 years. And when I was, this pregnant, my boss's boss came to me and said, hey, when you're back from maternity leave, we have an open position in the Flagler office.
Okay.
I probably couldn't even tell you, where the office was at that point.
Was it down a dirt road?
Pretty much. Yeah. There's like apartments back there now, but I said, oh, okay. I've never done outside sales. And she goes, I think you'd be great at it. Right.
Sure.
So I came back from maternity leave, started working out in Flagler and got to meet not all of the business owners in Flagler County, but a heck of a lot of them.
Sure. Right? All the ones that were here in the beginning.
Yeah.
So what year was that?
So that had to be
20 years ago.
I was going to say
2003.
15 years ago. Yeah.
2003, 2005.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So when, nobody was reading the newspaper anymore and they were having layoffs and the News Journal was getting bought out by different companies, they eliminated that position. And of course, you and I have talked about how, God works in your life.
Yes.
And I said, this is fantastic. It's literally the greatest day of my life. Cause I always knew I wanted to have my own business. I didn't know what I was going to be. And so I got a 90-day severance package.
Oh,
right?
good. So they gave you 90 days to get everything together and get your business started.
Yep.
So if you're ever in that situation, that's where you call Cornerstone Center. And we're here to help you get your business together, help you with the business plan, and help you move forward in your life. But so did you have anyone helping you at that time, or you just putting everything together?
So I had lunch with Kim Fitzgerald from Curly Tail Design.
And I'm looking forward to interviewing her here shortly.
She's mentioned that.
She'll be coming up after this. After this is on YouTube, you'll see she'll be coming up after you.
Great. And Sandra Vecchi, back in the day, and they said, we want you to have your own business, and we just don't know what that is yet either. Right.
Right.
So when I got laid off,
because Cindy, you have such a wonderful spirit about you.
Thank you.
And I can only say that I see God in you, and it just comes out with everything that you are. And you're so friendly and gentle and kind. And I'm just so thankful.
I'll come on your show any day.
well, because you see some people and they're like, because we have a lot of things that overlap, and there's some people that are going to get claws up and start backbiting and backstabbing, and you're not like that. I'm not like that. Like if our businesses overlap a little bit, that's fine. Let's work together and see how we can help each other.
It is fine, and I just always think to myself, what would Jesus do?
Right,
and
me too.
And God's calling to love God, love people. Right. So somebody's acting that way for a reason. And if you could help them get to that root of why they feel they need to do that, that's a blessing,
You're right. You're exactly right. But I just see so many good things from you. And, you were kind of put in the spotlight when I came here to Flagler about 5 years ago, when your husband passed away.
Yes.
And I know that was a hard thing. And, but at that point, all eyes are on you.
Right. Yeah. And I had people say to me, we were just hoping that if you were going to be the same, that your light would come back. Right. And that was very sweet. Right. Yeah. And it was 5 years ago. Yep. March. And that was just a turn that none of us saw coming, because he was, healthy and strong. And so I really could not have gotten through that without my friends, family, Salty Church, and the community in general. Everybody was amazing, including Kim Fitzgerald. I remember she just would pick me up and we'd run errands, and we went to Dolphin Printing and picked something up, and she got back out in the car, and I just was bawling my eyes out,
of
the printer, and she's like, let it out, girl, let it out. And that's, you got to let it out. Right. I was at the dentist, and poor girl's, cleaning my teeth, and, she starts talking about when her husband, I just bawling my eyes out, and that's what you do. And so I don't want people to feel awkward if they have a friend who's gone through something like that. Just let them cry, and whatever you say is not going to be the right thing to say. So just be there. Right. And fast forward 5 years now, I've facilitated the grief share class at Salty for about 4 years now. I went and attended it, and Salty Church brought it to the Ormond campus, and they just started one in Flagler as well. So I highly recommend that you just go to some sort of grief counseling, grief class, grief something when that happens, even if you think, I don't need it.
So if you were to give one tip for somebody who experiences being a widow or a loss like that, what would be the one tip you would give them?
Keep your faith. And that's not always easy. Yeah. It was hard for me to pray again, right. And be thankful to God. Like, what I have to be thankful for. Right.
Right.
But you're not thankful that your loved one passed. You're thankful that you had them for that amount of time.
For the amount of time that you had. So when I experienced that with Paulo, it was, God showed up before it happened, and I had already had a really strong relationship with God, but that, like, everyone's like, Kim, I see such a big change in you. Well, the thing is you met me when I was in rebellion. So you met me when I was like, I've been hurt by church. So God's not my thing. And then there was that time of rebellion, but God never left me nor forsake me, and never gave up on me. But within 2 weeks before Paulo passed away, God had already had things in place for me to know what to handle and how to handle it when it happened. And so for me, after he passed away, it was just, God is real. what do I need to do to serve God? What does God want me to do? And that's just been the dedication of my life since that happened. Mm. Now, I had been in that place before, but then in rebellion had veered from it.
Yeah.
And then it brought me back. But now, that's the most important thing for me every single day is, am I honoring God? Is what I'm doing honoring God? Are the words from my mouth honoring God? And look, we all make mistakes and we all slip up. The only thing that God asks us to do is our best.
Mm-hmm. And a small thing that you can do, I don't call it small because it is kind of big, is just be grateful every day. At night, we say, okay, what are the 3 things that we're grateful for from today? Mm-hmm. Maybe that your car started, maybe that you have a job, maybe that you can bend over to tie your shoes.
Yes.
Like whatever it is, just name it.
Well, you
not all days are the case. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and that will really help you realize that you have a lot more, than a lot of people. Right. And so that it's just so helpful, especially going into the new year. A lot of people have different goals and things that they want to achieve this year.
So one of the things that I think helped me the most with going through that was to purpose myself to process all the painful things. And I think, today's society really just wants everyone to bounce back, ignore the pain. And, nobody wants to see you cry, but you still have those emotions. You are still a human being. God gave us our emotions and they're a good thing. And so that processing to me, if I were to give advice for anybody, it would be to process, the firsts are so hard, but the seconds are not as hard and the thirds are not as hard. And the fourths even are easier. But the first time that you imagine your person in the kitchen doing what they were doing. And then every time you're doing these little things in the kitchen, it hits you again. You're like, ah!
Oh yeah.
But then the next time you imagine that, and then it eventually gets to where you imagine that and you smile. Yes. And that is such a wonderful place to be. So if there's anyone out there who's listening who has gone through a loss, allow yourself to process it and allow yourself to cry so that you can get to that point where you actually look back and feel joy and gratitude.
Yep. And your word process, another word for that is lean into it.
Oh, okay.
Right. And Meredith, one of the girls, she worked for Marketing2Go at the time. She got me this book, and it's Mark Zuckerberg's sister, Sheryl Sandberg, that co-wrote this book when her husband, Dave, died.
Like their whole family is amazing,
I know.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And it was, one of the things in the book was lean into the suck. And it sucks.
Like this sucks, but lean into
sucks.
it.
Yeah. And you don't try to medicate it. Don't try to go around it, above it, under it. There's no way, because if you liken it to a garden hose that gets kinked because you're not letting those feelings out. And then guess what? Water starts spurting out where it's not supposed to be spurting out, and you're agitated at work. You're yelling at your kids. You're kicking the dog, hopefully not, so you're, just have a lot of that, anger in there.
Lean into it. That's beautiful. I have not read the book. I just really knew that I needed to process everything. And it was funny because people kept saying, no, leave the house, come out of the house. Cause he was actually in the house when he passed away. And I'm like, no, I need to be here and process this. And, God gave me the grace to get through that and surrounded me with all of my friends. And you really find out who are the people that have your back. And all of us have those people as we're, developing relationships through life. But I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't give up what we had, the time together that we had.
Yeah. And absolutely me neither. And how can you be that person that someone else counts on? Right. And so if people don't have a lot of strong relationships in their life, or, people that they can count as true friends, you can't change other people, but you can sure change and improve yourself. So what are you doing that you can be a better friend, brother, son, dad, right? Mom, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cindy, you are such a superstar. And so this year, I know at the parade, you're always like the person who's,
fun.
Are you the announcer there? Or
so I co-announce, right? Co-MC, we'll call it, with Bob from the Flagler County Health Department, right? Bob Snyder, he's the director of the health department there, and he's fabulous, you know, and we just have such a good time. The Rotary Club of Flagler Beach organizes the Christmas parade in Flagler Beach and the July 4th parade in Flagler Beach. The Christmas parade, the weather is much more bearable. The Flagler Beach in July, the weekend of July 4th, we're just standing there sweating.
Yes.
But it is so fun. And the Flagler Beach Police Department, you know, and the city are just unbelievably fantastic with organizing and shutting down the traffic. And I mean, I'll be talking to Bob after the parade. That was a good parade. And then you look around and everybody's gone. We're like, how in the world did they clear the crowds in under 5 minutes?
That's so quick, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, it's a great, way if you've got a business or a nonprofit or, whatever it is, to have a float or a flatbed or a boat or trucks or horses and come through and just, love on the community. It's really cool.
It's a lot of fun. So are we going to have fireworks this year?
I don't know if the city and Santori are talking about that, but fingers crossed.
So everybody start, sending your prayers for the fireworks. They're absolutely beautiful. It's a lot of fun to watch the fireworks over the water.
We don't have a pier, so I don't know.
Well, there's that, but they can take it out on a boat.
I would think so.
Yeah.
A barge.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's how they did it in my hometown of Pittsburgh. We have 3 rivers, and they would always be out on the water to do the fireworks.
Sounds safer.
Maybe we could do it here that way. That would be awesome. Well, Cindy, I want to thank you so much for being on the Kim Sunshine Show.
So fun.
I think you're absolutely a superstar and fantastic, and one of the people that I look up to. So I'm so thankful that you're here with me today. It makes me feel so good.
Well, thank you for doing the show, and thank you for just being a ray of sunshine.
Thanks. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.